Hello students, we will continue our discussion on the second chapter, that is acids, bases and salts. Okay, so far we have discussed the properties of acids and then a few reaction of acids. In today's class, especially we will be focusing on bases, the properties of bases and few reactions of bases, and then of course we will discuss the acidity of bases like what we discussed in the previous class, that was basicity of acids. So these are the few things that we are going to discuss, we are going to learn in this particular video. So first of all, let's discuss about a few important properties or characteristics of base. So as I told you at the beginning of the chapter itself, acids and bases, they have certain physical characteristic. That is, for acid it was the taste, which was sour. In case of base have the bitter taste. Acids have sour taste and bases have bitter taste, as bases have bitter taste and soapy touch. Correct? The first property of base. The number 2, bases release OH minus ions when dissolved in water. Then point number 3, bases turn red litmus blue. Bases turn red litmus blue. These are the 3 properties of bases. And apart from actually the third point, we can add one more line. That is, if you remember, while when we discussed the indicators, we talked about litmus paper, we talked about phenolphthalein, we talked about methyl orange, and so on. So bases not only turns red litmus blue, but it also turns phenolphthalein indicator into pink. Phenolphthalein into pink. So these are the important properties of bases, and now we will discuss some of the very important reaction of bases that it shows. Say for example, we will discuss how base reacts with metal, then we will discuss how base reacts with non-metal oxides, and so on. So I suggest all of you to actually please go through your textbook as well. Okay, so in the textbook the reactions are also given, how acids react with metals, how acids react with carbonates, how acids react with bicarbonates, how acid reacts with metal oxides, similarly how base reacts with metal, how base react with non-metal oxide, etc., etc. Remember, acids react with metal oxides, however bases will react with non-metal oxides. Acid and bases, they have slight different character. Acids will react with metal oxide, however base will not react with metal oxide, base will react with non-metal oxide. So these 2 important reactions of base we will study one by one. So let's come to the first reaction of base. let's come to the first reaction of base, that is reaction of base with metals. A reaction of base with metals. Now here you have to remember one thing very clearly, that is not all metals will react with base. Okay, and not all bases will also react. Not all bases. There are certain bases which only reacts with certain metals. Not all bases will react with all metals. There are certain metals which will react with certain bases. Say for example, bases like NaOH, these are called alkali if you remember. NaOH, KOH, this kind of bases will react with metals. Again, not all metals. There are certain metals, reactive metals. With those metals only, the bases will show reaction. Not on all metals. So in the reaction, we will write metals like zinc, tin and aluminium reacts with strong bases like NaOH and KOH to produce salt and hydrogen gas. Metals like zinc, tin and aluminium reacts with strong bases like NaOH and KOH to form salt and hydrogen gas. You write down those 3 lines in your copies. Then we will write some reaction. So the first reaction we will be writing is for zinc. The first reaction that we will be writing is for zinc. So let's write zinc plus, let's take sodium hydroxide. This is a metal. Zinc we all know is one of the metal, and this is sodium hydroxide, and alkali and strong base. So zinc, when reacts with sodium hydroxide, it will give us one salt, that is Na2ZnO2 plus H2, hydrogen gas. So now the compound that is formed, Na2ZnO2, will be in the aqueous form. It will be in the aqueous state, and it is called sodium zincate. Sodium zincate. And hydrogen gas, since hydrogen is a gas, it will evolve. It is hydrogen gas. So in the entire process, one salt is formed, hydrogen gas is formed, and the reaction proceeds like this. So we can write one more example. Okay. Okay. Before moving on, just check if the reaction is balanced or not. Just see once the reaction is balanced or not. Okay. I will not balance the equation for you. You just balance the equation for yourself. Since we have discussed the balancing part more than one very often I discuss how to balance, and we have like written a number of balanced equations. So this time I will not be writing the balanced equation. You have to write the balanced equation yourself. Okay, I believe the equation, yes, the reaction is not balanced. You have to balance it. Now let's write one more example. This time let's take like another metal. Let's take tin this time. Tin. Sn is the symbol for tin. Sn plus NaOH. So same thing will happen when a metal reacts with an alkali, this one, sodium hydroxide. It will definitely give us one salt and hydrogen gas again. This time the salt will be a bit different. Earlier it was zinc metal, so we have got sodium zincate, but this time since the metal is different, the salt will also be different. So the salt will be Na2SnO2 plus H2. Okay, this time we have a different kind of a salt, and this is called sodium stannite. Sodium stannite. This is called sodium stannite. So we have written two examples, which is I think enough. Yes, this equation, you balance this equation as well. So the first equation and the second equation, I am leaving both the equation as unbalanced. So while writing in your copies, you balance the equation and then write. So the first type of reaction of base is already done, that is reaction of base with metals. Now we will move to another set of reaction of base, that is reaction of base with non-metal oxide. Reaction of base with non-metal oxide. Non-metal oxide. So if you recall, then in case of acid, the heading was like reaction of acid with metal oxide, but somehow here we have a slight change. Here we are writing reaction of base with non-metal oxide. So earlier acids, they used to react with metal oxides like ZnO, isn't it? Like ZnO, like MgO, like CaO. This kind of metal oxides were reacting with acids like HCl, like H2SO4, isn't it? It was a bit different back then. However, in this case, in case of base, this metal oxides, they do not react with bases. They do not react with bases. They react with acids. So these bases, they react with non-metal oxides. Non-metal oxides like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, okay, sulfur dioxide, etc. This kind of non-metal oxides react with bases. You have to understand the difference, then it will be easier for you to remember. Let's write the reaction of base with non-metal oxide. So you will write bases react with non-metal oxide like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide to form salt and water. form salt and water. Bases react with non-metal oxides like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide to form salt and water. Now we will write a few examples. For example, let's take the first example. NaOH, sodium hydroxide, plus let's take carbon dioxide. So when NaOH reacts with carbon dioxide, then it will give you Na2 CO3 plus H2O. Okay, we are getting one salt, and along with the salt we are also getting water. Okay, now this particular reaction is an important one because later in the chapter we have to study something regarding the salt. Okay, there are some useful salts like baking soda, baking powder, bleaching powder, etc. And the preparation method we have to study. The preparation methods we have to learn. So this particular reaction is involved in one of those such preparation method. So this is one important reaction. Okay, sodium hydroxide when reacts with carbon dioxide gives you sodium carbonate plus water. Okay, now the reaction, is the reaction balanced? Obviously not, since you have one sodium this side, two sodium this side, so the reaction is definitely not balanced. So you need to balance the reaction yourself, because I am not going to help you in this regard, since we have discussed enough on this. Okay, now let's write one more reaction. This time let's change the base and let's change the non-metal oxide. Let's take calcium hydroxide plus sulfur dioxide this reaction. CaOH2 plus SO2 gives you CaSO3 plus H2O. You write down both the reaction in your copies. I hope you have written both the equations. So the first one and the second one is actually a balanced one, so no need to worry here. The first equation you need to balance. So here you are getting base plus non-metal oxide, a salt, sodium carbonate plus water. Here calcium hydroxide plus sulfur dioxide gives you calcium sulfide plus H2O. Both the reactions are, I think, written. Now let's discuss something regarding weakness and strongness. Okay, so if you remember, in the previous video we talked about weak acids and strong acids. I explained you why they are called weak acids, why they are called strong acids, isn't it? So similarly, in case of bases, we also have strong and weak bases. It all depends on how much they are ionizing or how much they are dissociating. Okay, so what was the definition of strong acids? Strong acids are those acids which dissociated or ionized to a large extent, whereas weak acids are those acids where the ionization or the dissociation was to a small extent. So similar concept here as well in case of bases, weak bases and strong bases. Strong bases are those which dissociate to a large extent. That means you are like, say for example, NaOH. NaOH is an example of, is one of the example of strong base. So what happens when you dissolve NaOH? Suppose you are dropping 100 molecules of NaOH in water. Okay, we know when bases dissolved in water, they will immediately dissociate and they will give us Na plus and OH minus ion. So this OH minus is the region for the basicity. So what happens in case of strong base? As soon as you dissolve the 100 molecule, all the 100 molecule will be dissociated. That means for 100 NaOH molecule, you will be getting 100 OH minus ion. Similarly, for KOH, this base, potassium hydroxide here as well, if you dissolve 100 molecule of KOH, all the 100 molecule will be dissociated immediately. That means for 100 molecule of KOH, you are getting 100 ions of OH minus. So these bases which dissociate completely or dissociate to a large extent are called strong bases. Okay. Now, what about weak bases? Definitely, weak bases are those bases where the dissociation does not happen to a large extent. So, for example, out of 100 molecule, only 5 or 6 molecules are being dissociated. That means they also dissociate, but the amount of dissociation, the extent of dissociation is very small in that case. So, for example, if we talk about weak base, we have NH4OH with us, then MgOH with us. So this NH4OH, it is called ammonium hydroxide. It is also a base. Okay, it is also a base. But the thing is, it does not dissociate to a large extent. Suppose you are putting 100 molecule of NaOH, NH4OH, and out of that 100 NH4OH, only 4 or 5 molecules will be dissociating, and as a result, you will be getting only 5 OH minus ion out of 100. So that is the weak bases. Similarly, in case of magnesium hydroxide as well, you will be getting very less number of ions compared to strong one. So that is the difference between weak base and strong base. Okay, now let's talk about acidity of bases. Acidity of bases. In the previous video, we talked about basicity of acids. We had monobasic, dibasic, tribasic acids, for example, HCl. Then we had H2SO4 and so on. Depending on how much replaceable or removable H plus ions they have with us, they are given different names. Say for example, if one acid has only one replaceable hydrogen ion, it is called monobasic. If one acid is having two replaceable hydrogen atoms, it is called dibasic acid. That means basically it depends on the number of replaceable hydrogen plus ion. That means hydrogen ions, H plus ions. Okay, so like acids, bases have OH minus ions. Acids had H plus, bases have OH minus ions. So the concept is similar here as well. In case of acid, the presence of one H plus ion help to neutralize one base. The presence of two H plus ions help in the neutralization of two bases. In cases of the presence of 3 H plus ions, it helped to neutralize 3 bases. So it gave them the characteristic name: monobasic, dibasic, tribasic, etc. Here in case of base, this OH minus ion will help in the neutralization of acids. Suppose if one base is containing, we have one base, for example, and that base have one OH group, say for example NaOH or KOH. So that NaOH will neutralize how many acids? Okay. Remember, while comparing the standard that we will take is the monobasic acid and monoacidic base. What I am talking is, in case of acid, okay, HCl, H2SO4, etc., H3PO4, monobasic, dibasic, tribasic. While comparing or while studying their basicity, we wrote all the three acids in this manner, and then we reacted them with same or almost same kind of base. We took NaOH, we took KOH, or we took NaOH. The type of base that we took in order to compare them was almost similar. How similar? See, all those bases, they contain only one OH group in each of the cases. That means we are comparing the acid with same kind of base. What kind of base they are? Since they have only one OH group, they can be called monoacidic base. Okay. If we take different kind of base apart from this base, say for example, if you take MgOH2, then the entire thing will be different. This Mg contains two OH group, so the entire story will be different. While comparing, we used the same base. What kind of base? Monoacidic base. Okay. Similarly, in case of base as well. We will be comparing the base with same kind of acid. HCl and all HCl. We cannot take HCl in this case and then a different acid in the next case. If you do so, then the comparison will not be fair. Here you are reacting NaOH with HCl. Here you are reacting MgOH2 with H2SO4. You cannot do this. Means same kind of acid should be taken for the comparison. So we will take HCl. First of all, you write down the definition of what is the acidity of base. The definition is acidity of base the number of replaceable hydroxyl group the number of replaceable hydroxyl group. In the bracket you can write OH minus. Hydroxyl means OH minus. The number of replaceable hydroxyl groups present in a base which can be. Now the definition comes into play. The number of replaceable hydroxyl group present in a base which can be released. It depends on how much OH minus it can actually release. The number of replaceable hydroxyl group present in a base which can be released on dissolving in water. Or aqueous medium. So now you write down the definition in your copies. The number of replaceable hydroxyl group present in a base which can be released on dissolving in water or in aqueous medium. So this is the definition of acidity of bases. Now, for example, NaOH and KOH, their acidity is 1. Why the acidity is 1? I have one NaOH, and this NaOH is sufficient to neutralize one HCl. This NaOH can neutralize one HCl. That means one base is enough to neutralize one acid. So it is called monoacidic base. And the product you all know, the product will be NaCl plus H2, a salt and water. That is for sure. So these are monoacidic base, and then we have other set of example. Next we can write calcium hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide, whose acidity is 2. Why the acidity is 2? I think you know. Calcium hydroxide, if it is allowed to react with HCl, isn't it? If it is allowed to react with HCl, then what will happen? The single molecule of calcium hydroxide is enough to neutralize 2 HCl, because this calcium hydroxide, you know, when dissolved in water, it will give you Ca2 plus 2OH minus. That means 2OH minus will be coming out of this base, and this 2OH minus are sufficient to neutralize 2H plus. But here we have only one HCl, so that will not be enough. So this 2OH will go and it will neutralize not only one but 2 HCl. Okay, so bases like CaOH2 and MgOH2 have acidity equal to 2. You write down both the example, this one and this one. Apart from this two, we have other examples as well. If you find, you can write them down. Okay. Now I have one more thing to discuss with you. That is how, like, acids and